innocent people sent to jail under Kamala Harris, we can have a conversation. That truancy law that she passed was about black children getting educated. Mm-hmm. If you come back with a litany of parents who were sent to jail under this woman, when her concern was to make sure black children got educated, let's have that honest conversation as adults, as mature adults.
I did an analysis of who the homicide victims were who are under the age of 25. And the information came back to me, 94% of them were high school dropouts. And I said, look, I'm prepared to play the bad guy on this. I do not intend to put any parent in jail, and no parent went to jail.
Lay peoples. On March 13, 2013, I was arrested for truancy for my child, and she has a chronic illness called sickle cell anemia. This is me, the day they came and arrested me at my house. I was unaware that they even was considering my child to be a truant. Her diagnosis, sickle cell, it's a really chronic disorder. There's no cure for it. They pretty much are born with it. It's a hereditary blood disorder that affects every major organ in their body. Everyone, the brain, the heart, the lungs, anything that is related, the eyes, they have strokes, high rates of strokes. Sickle cell, it's not a known, people don't know about it. They don't know, they know of it, but you don't really know about it. And it's a totally different thing when you're living it. And right now, I'm living the worst nightmare that any mother can possibly understand and go through, to feel, to be arrested based on the fact that your child has a chronic illness and her illness prevents her and from going to school. And I get arrested for truancy. It's documented that my child has an illness. She's chronically ill. The way her care is done, and for them to not just provide the services that are needed for me to be successful to help my child, they went ahead and arrested me.
Tantamount to a crime. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. Well, this was a little controversial in San Francisco. And frankly, my staff went bananas. They were very concerned because we didn't know at the time whether I was going to have an opponent in my re-election race. But I said, look, I'm done. This is a serious issue, and I've got a little political capital, and I'm going to spend some of it. And this is what we did. We recognized that in that initiative, as a prosecutor and law enforcement, I have a huge stick. The school district has got a carrot. Let's work in tandem around our collective objective and goal, which is to get those kids in school. So, to that end, on my letterhead, now let me tell you something about my letterhead. When you're the DA of a major city in this country, usually the job comes with a badge. And there is often an artistic rendering of said badge on your stationery. So I sent a letter out on my letterhead to every parent in the school district, outlining the connection that was statistically proven between elementary school truancy, high school dropouts, who will become a victim of crime, and who will become a perpetrator of crime. We sent it out to everyone. A friend of mine actually called me and he said, Kamala, my wife got the letter. She freaked out. She brought all the kids into the living room, held up the letter, said, if you don't go to school, Kamala's going to put you and me in jail. Yes, we achieved intended effect.
Time tonight because her son won't stop skipping school. Now, she says she's done everything she can to make him go and wants him punished instead. News 5's Michelle Hopkins joins us live tonight with the story. Michelle?
It's a sobering thought, isn't it? A parent paying the price for her child skipping school, and that's exactly what a Fairfield mom is facing tonight. 6 months in jail.
You won't see Alfred Phillips' smiling face in Fairfield schools. The 16-year-old refuses to go.
When they're in high school, young adults, they know right from wrong. I just feel like they know to get up and go to school. So why should I be punished for that?
Butler County courts and Fairfield schools strongly disagree, telling parents do whatever it takes.
Even going and holding their hand, taking them to school, sitting down with them, right beside them to make sure they stay.
Fairfield Schools is dealing with 269 truancy cases right now and following the letter of Ohio law that calls truancy a punishable crime.
Everything will be lost. My job, my home. I don't know where my granddaughter, I don't know where my daughter's going. Everything will be lost.
I understand that, but that is what they say needs to happen. They need to do those things in order to ensure that they don't get into criminal trouble.
Proud of their strict attendance policy, Fairfield's philosophy is if a student isn't in class, they can't learn. Other Butler County schools are taking notice.
They are doing many of the things that we do, following us, because they see that it works.
And that mom in the story, Donna Phillips, faces a judge on Friday morning. She could be sentenced to 180 days in jail. She would be the second Butler County parent this month to get jail time for truancy. Michelle Hopkins, News 5, where the news comes first.
Who wants to try once more for the third time today?
The new law goes after parents whose children are chronically absent from kindergarten through 8th grade and makes it easier to define chronic truancy and take them to court.
There are some instances where elementary students aren't coming to school because they're not getting up, and parents aren't getting them up.
Truancy often means a rise in juvenile crime and later more high school dropouts. The new law defines chronic truancy as missing 10% of the school year, and the penalty is a fine of up to $2,000 and jail time. The average school year is 180 days, so if a student misses 18 days, that student would have missed 10% of the school year.
Child seems to have low grades, if the child seems to, have issues getting to school in the first place, with this new law, I think it might help.
And the court will look to resolve new cases without parents ending up behind bars.
It allows parenting classes and for the probation department or whoever is the appropriate agency to work with the parent.
An A in attendance might be worth a little bit more this year. In Lodi, Rich Ibarra, KCRA 3 Report.
Good evening, I'm Mark Allen.
And good evening, I'm Katie Houston. Dayton Police and the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office teamed up with the Dayton Public School District to arrest parents whose kids have not been showing up to class. The parents not too happy, as you can imagine. Holly Samuels has reaction in our top story at 5:30.
Inside the Juvenile Detention Center in downtown Dayton, Dayton police officers, Montgomery County Sheriff's deputies, truancy officers, and children's service workers team up for an unusual mission.
You're not going out after hard criminals, but you're going out after parents who just don't understand how important it is to get these children to school.
They study their targets, 19 parents whose kids, kindergarten through 4th grade, haven't shown up for class. The team started in the morning to catch them at home, and they immediately meet their mark.
Our job is to get parents and children on board.
This is some up in the window.
But just a few houses down their list,
Come to the door. Come on.
They find a mother reluctant to come out, and they soon learn why. When the door finally opens, officers find 2 young children who should be in school.
Ma'am, how come your kids weren't in school today?
All in my face.
This woman and all the others will be held in jail overnight, and they'll appear before a judge in the morning.
In order to be able to succeed, they need an education, and so it hurts you as a human being to know that they're not getting that education and that right to succeed in life.
In Dayton, Holly Samuels, 2 News.
Come on, you're around.
Ended up in handcuffs. Local law enforcement hopes it sends a strong message to parents to get involved in their child's lives. Well, tonight, KCRA 3's Leticia Ordaz spoke with some mothers who spent the day behind bars.
My son is in a charter school program, and they still arrested me.
Tonight, this mother who would not give us her name was released after spending the entire day locked up at the Sacramento County Jail. How did you feel, though, to be arrested today?
It's degrading, it's humiliating, it's harassment.
Today, 100 officers throughout Sacramento joined forces with the district attorney's office to arrest nearly 40 parents who had warrants for not sending their children to school.
The importance is that we want to get a message to the parents that you need to send your kids to school every day and be on time every day. We want to get those kids educated so they don't fall in the cracks, they don't get in trouble with the law.
It's a message this parent got quickly.
Make sure your kids go to school.
But she was released from jail this evening, she was too upset to talk. Her brother Richard, who would only give us his first name, told us the truancy sweep targeting parents was unfair and humiliating.
Oh, I'm not happy because I feel it was a waste of time. I feel that they could have spent this time going after criminals, looking for a child, not doing a truancy sweep.
See the hoods that they're wearing. Obviously, they know the school has cameras.
Vince Madrenga is the police chief for the Sacramento City Schools. He can only hope the sweep will get more students in the classroom during school hours and fewer teens destroying school property after hours.
When kids don't go to school, everyone loses.
Many parents are bailing out of jail tonight, but one mother who's been arrested before will have to stay here for 45 days. In Sacramento, Leticia Ordaz, KCRA 3 reports.
Innocent people sent to jail under Kamala Harris, we can have a conversation. That truancy law that she passed was about black children getting educated. If you come back with a litany of parents who were sent to jail under this woman, when her concern was to make sure black children got educated, let's have that honest conversation as adults, as mature adults.